Today, we're going to answer the age-old question. Can artists design characters from pixel art? So, for the audience at home, I have got an Oil here, a professional pixel artist, to make 3 pixel art designs for this video. Each of the artists here were tasked with taking those pixel art designs and turning them into characters, drawing them in our own styles. And now, since all the art is finished, we're going to show them off, and Oil is going to judge which of our designs have best matched his original vision. So, without any further ado, the first character we're going to be showing off is this guy. There's a bug looking thing Oil has drawn for us. So which of you guys want to show off your art for this first?
I can go first.
Fork it over.
So I wasn't sure if this was an insect at first or like a bunny kind of thing, because it kind of looks like bunny ears there. So I had a few initial ideas. Hi there, I'm Monitor Comics. I normally spend my days drawing comics or voluptuous anime characters, so I guess you can say I have a bit of experience with today's prompt. Designing characters based on pixel art will be new for me, but I'm always up for a challenge. Artman Oil did an amazing job designing these characters because I can't tell what any of them are, but I guess that's the point. For this first goober, I decided to make a few initial sketches to try and capture his essence. To me, this character looked like some sort of insect or a brown rabbit. I think it has a large blue turtle shell on its back, kind of like Bowser, but I'm not entirely sure. For these sketches, I mainly focused on the character's silhouette. This character felt wide shoulders and compact, kind of like a tank or a bruiser archetype. I settled on this middle design because it felt the closest to the source material. The clothing was probably the easiest part of this design. It looks like he's wearing a medieval brown shirt with orange leather boots. I wasn't sure if the arms were out of view, but I added them anyway, because I'm sure the character doesn't have floating hands, right? I also gave this character large blue feathers protruding from its shell. I wasn't sure if these were something like diamonds or some other type of metallic rock, but a flying tank sounded really cool in my head. Here's how it turned out. I really hope it's somewhat close to what Artman Oil imagined.
That is a really cool interpretation of that. I like it. He looks a little like alien with the antenna.
Mine's like papyrus.
I couldn't tell if that was a texture or like balls in between the orange segments in the hair. It looks separated though, so I didn't know.
That's the thing with this. All of us are gonna have completely different interpretations because we had so limited amount of pixels to work with. But I think yours looks like really cool.
I also couldn't tell if he had arms.
Dude,
some of the early concept already had like floating hands.
I was considering not drawing arms. I was like, are these floating hands?
Yeah, I really like what you did with the back, with the blue and the wings and such.
The colors are very nice.
I was having trouble with that, like what exactly that was.
Adrotic, you gotta go now.
That's me. It's my turn. Okay, here's mine. Okay, let's see what I'm gonna do for this first design. Okay, so maybe my 2014 FNAF brain rot still has a hold on me. Because the first thing I thought of when I saw this guy's face was just Springtrap, which is fine. I can work with that. I honestly had a lot of confusion with how everything attached to each other in the design, so I used the animatronic direction to help decide how to piece it all together. Some of the simpler bits were the tech strips on the sides of the cloak thing and just making the whole chest robotic. Then in came the wings and the hands, which is probably the parts that I took the most creative liberty with. But hey, I already went this far with all the animatronic stuff, so let's go all in. I made it so the wings are holographic, emitting from a back piece that also holds the thin robotic arms for the hands. Not gonna lie, chat, I probably lost this round, but it was worth it for the FNAF. So when I first saw this, I was immediately drawn to the face, which reminded me kind of like FNAF animatronic-esque, so I kind of leaned into that.
Yeah, he looks like Springtrap he is.
No.
yeah, basically. So I kind of looked at some of the aspects of like, oh, what could kind of be more robotic animatronic-y and leaned into that.
I also like that you made him a little chibi, if that makes sense, because like in the pixel art, he's probably like 2 heads big, which I didn't even think about really when I was doing mine. Yeah. But I feel like yours could be an accurate interpretation of the size.
Big fan of the Afton type build.
The Afton.
The Afton.
What if William Afton redesigned our characters?
Does it got any points?
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
You just gotta suck up to Oil.
Okay. Number 3, David, it is your turn.
Okay. You guys know Rayman?
I do know Rayman.
I love Rayman.
Yeah.
My character's based off of him.
Okay, so I got a completely different feel from you guys, because I wasn't too sure if the hands were floating and the boots were like connected. So I kind of took inspiration from like Rayman, and that's where my design philosophy, I guess, comes from.
David, do the thing.
Okay. Alright. So, when making this actual, like, pixel art challenge, I struggled a lot. Pixel art is really small. Like, I mean, super small. And so, our job was basically to translate it to a bigger canvas with a little bit more detail. The only bad part is getting the in-betweens. I wasn't too sure if there was, like, arms, or if there was a certain material, or a certain item that was supposed to be. So, that was a big issue with me, at least. With all of that being said, the main idea of this entire design was a bug. So, I went with a bug that had no limbs, kind of like Rayman. To me, the gloves feel like they're kind of floating, there's no arms in them. So, I wanted to portray that to the best that I could. Let's see what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see it, like, having floating legs
Yeah.
and hands like Rayman.
And then the chest, I wasn't too sure if that was like a rib cage or something like that. So I tried matching it the best to my abilities.
It's also got a
Yeah.
little bit of, like, alien aesthetic, like with antenna and the kind of sci-fi pattern on the chest.
You have
Tennis,
really good
dude.
shape language in this character.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. The silhouette, the shape
Yeah,
design.
the silhouette.
Dude, you're really appealing to me. Like, oh my goodness, Rayman, dude. Horrible fixation on Rayman,
Yo, I might win, guys. Whoa.
dude.
Okay, I think it's time I take my turn. So with this first character, I think this is probably the one I'm most confident with, since I think a lot of the designs for the character are very obvious as what they should be. Like, obviously it's like a bug guy, those things on the back are like wings, he's got like a big protective shell. I thought all that stuff was very obvious, so I was quite confident with how this design would turn out. Some things I took some more creative liberties with, I guess you could say, is like the antenna and the legs. Like, you couldn't really tell really what they were. Like, was he wearing boots? Did he have his feet out? What are those antenna? Like what are they? You know, all that kind of stuff. So I ended up like choosing like a cockroachy kind of inspired direction for this guy. Like, I referenced cockroaches when designing the antenna and the feet, and I think maybe that's probably what Oil's going for in the original character design. I mean, we'll see if I'm right, I guess. Everything else was kind of obvious. Like, I just drew the big red shell, the wings, I gave him like these white gloves. I couldn't really tell if he was meant to have arms or not, or if they were meant to be floating hands. I decided just to go with arms because, you know, why not? I think it looks fine like that. But yeah, here's the final piece. I'm quite happy with it. I think it represents the pixel art quite well, in my opinion.
Yours has the grippers out.
He does
Yeah.
have the grippers out. Am I the only one with the grippers out? Everyone gave him
Dude, you're the
boots.
only one
Yeah,
with grippers.
yeah, you have Skynix feet? Whoa.
You can't tell.
Whoa.
You can't tell. The pixel art's so small. You don't know if the feet are out or not.
I was gonna say that's actually one of my favorite parts of your design is the different interpretation with the feet. They look fun.
Dude, I had to Google like pages of cockroaches to figure out how to draw like the feet and antenna and stuff.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that.
Okay, Oil, we have revealed all of the characters, so please tell us about what your original intentions were.
It pains me to say it because, like, David, you had the Rayman, you had the thing,
Oh.
the like 5-year-old, the little rat that's powering my brain on the wheel really loves yours, but like Skynix got it the closest.
Was it Roach
I see, I
inspired?
see.
Was I right?
Yeah, it was a little bug guy.
Oh.
It was hard to show the arms off because all of the sprites were drawn within I can't remember if it was 64 by 60, I'm pretty sure it's 32 by 32 area. And so making sure that the arms fit into that was really hard. And so I just didn't add arms. They're just hidden behind the plating. And I was just like, oh, well, it's vague enough. They're about to guess it. So I guess I would put in arms. Honestly, Adrotic and Monitor, I love yours. Your concept art monitor was honestly so fire. And then Adrotic, Five Nights at Freddy's, always a 10 out of 10 in my book. I'm going to be so for real with you.
Yeah.
Stop the video! Before we continue with the video, let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys tired of literally every social media platform now trying to steal your art and train their own AI models with? Are you sick of all the unnecessary politics and hate these platforms encourage? Do you just want a nice, fun place to post your art again? Well, let me introduce you to Unvale, the sponsor of today's video. Unvale is a place where you can upload and share all of your original characters and the art you've made for them. It is completely anti-AI and anti-NFT, so you can guarantee it is a safe place for artists. It's even got tons of cool features like the ability to create worlds, write about your characters, and it even has a marketplace. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to join Unvale today. Click it. No, you wanna. Click the link. I said click it! The next character we were tasked with reinterpreting is this little nuthead kind of guy. I don't even know. This one was much more vague than the first one. Since I won the last round, I'll go first with my design. So here is my interpretation. Okay, now this guy. I'm gonna be completely honest, I had no idea what this guy was meant to be. I think my first instincts when looking at it was like a little guy with some kind of wooden helmet thing with like one of those like knight feathery things come out the back, like you know what I'm talking about. It was all up to interpretation this time. I'm gonna be completely honest. I decided to turn like that red cloak thing into like leaves because like it kind of had like a rough texture, so I was like maybe it's meant to be like leaves, right? There was this like yellow thing on the creature's neck. I don't know what that was, so I'm just like, okay, it's a golden bell. Yeah, I gave him the like wooden nut helmet. I don't know, and the knight thing. And also, you know, just for the fun of it, I gave him a big long nose because you know maybe in the pixel art he's staring directly at the camera and you just can't see it. So that's my interpretation, my rules. You know, I think I'm not confident about this one, but it does look like a pretty cool guy, I think. And then, I don't know, I just gave him an Usopp nose because I thought it would look cool. So maybe in the original pixel art, he's looking straight at the camera, so you just can't see it.
It's like Phineas.
I found it interesting that you saw the like blue squares as the eyes, because I originally saw the yellow squares as the eyes.
Oh,
that's a
really?
interesting
Wait.
that, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
interpretation.
It could be anything, really, yeah. We don't know.
It's such a silly design. I'm a massive fan of how goofy he is.
Who wants to go next? We looked at my
I want
design.
to go.
David is volunteering.
I'm volunteering. I volunteer as tribute. Mine is like so different. Here, I'll just show you guys and you guys can react. All right, now let's dissect the actual design. Look at that little goober. So kawaii desu. I know. Now, what makes him actually him? What key elements are the big ones? I identified those key elements to these 4 different elements. A fuzzy guy, big eye, a chain, and a machine. Those 4 elements were the 4 elements that, well, makes up the majority of this design. The other is the in-betweens, like I mentioned in the last time lapse. Alright, so my whole philosophy was around the eye. The eye was the main aspect of my design, so I built my whole design around it. I put a machine on top of his head. I wasn't too sure what that type of machine was supposed to be. Later now, I know it's a lantern, so I kind of failed in that aspect. But besides that, I did like the points that I made where his like fur around him mostly covered him and there was an eye sticking out. So at least I think I got that right. But let's see what the gang thinks.
Yeah, dude, this one is so abstract. I don't know if like your one is like more correct or my one's in the right direction. I genuinely have no idea. But I do like your little guy. He feels very like nostalgic kind of video game enemy.
That's what I went for. That's what I thought these were, like little video game enemies.
That makes me think that the creatures underneath of the thing and like the thing on top just
It's like a
hat
Mimikyu.
or
It's like a Mimikyu. From
Yeah. It gave me like Full Metal Alchemist vibes for the big eyeball.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he opens up the big old black door and the hands come out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. In my interpretation, since all of these were like MMORPG, like not bosses, but like enemies, I was like, okay, what if he just swung a whip, right? Or a chain in this case, instead of like using his hands, which I'm guessing he wouldn't have hands. I don't know how he would look underneath like the whole red fur.
Okay, well, we'll see if it's right or wrong. Who's up next?
I really need to go next.
Okay,
Go
let's
next,
see
go
it.
next.
This one was tricky. Not tricky because I couldn't tell what the design was. No, I could tell it was probably a bushy guy with a helmet. But then comes the problem. Anyone who knows me, you know I love creatures. This little eye-looking thing in the middle threw my whole plan out the window just to make the eye work with the design. Because, oh, that's just so fun. Little eye creature. So instead, no more helmet. It's a bomb now. And this guy is gonna deliver it to your mailbox unless you leave a like and subscribe to skynixart at youtube.com. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules, but you know, if I did, I'd say I win this round. Can that work? Can I just say I win? Can I win? I win the whole, yeah. Yippee! The second I saw yours, I'm like,
Oh,
they're the exact same
oh my
interpretation.
God.
Oh my god!
To a T, like
How is
every
that
single
even-
part of it.
Dude, who would
I
win if you
don't
were
know.
both right?
I
That's
don't
actually insane.
The only difference, like, at all is just the feet.
Yeah.
Like, everything else is the exact
No,
same.
your guy is just a baby version. He's the little guy.
It's like a
and he's the big
Fake-a-mon.
guy.
I saw the original design and I'm like, it's probably like a knight helmet or something, but I could not stop looking at the eye. So I kind of did my design just based off the eye itself.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, he's carrying a bomb, I guess, and he throws it.
Okay, Monitor, let's see yours.
I think I had an idea at first. I kind of knew what I was going for. Goober number 2 was a lot more straightforward. He looked like a petite character with a red cloak, leather boots, and some sort of object on its head. To me at least, it looked like some kind of furnace or a lantern or some kind of illuminated object. I'm not sure if that's smoke, steam, or chains coming out of the character's head, or if the golden thing in the center is some sort of necklace like a medallion or an eye. So here's what I came up with. Do you think I'm cooked? I tried to match the pixel art like direction.
I love the way you did this steam. That's so cool.
All of these are so good.
You can hear Oil shaking in his boots, rocking in his chair. Is it time? Is it time you reveal which one actually was
It's
correct?
time. I have no words because first when David's appeared, I like visibly soy jacked while staring at his. I just eyes popped out my head, tongue rolled onto the floor, and then Adrotic's came, which was also incredibly similar. Monitor, yours was almost the closest. The one on the very right of your concept art is the exact design.
Oh,
I was thinking.
my
It's a lantern
God,
on
I
top of
chose-
It's like concept
Like,
design.
perfectly on dot. I was staring at that. You couldn't see it, but when I saw that, my eyes bugged out, and I sort of just stared. I was like, "Oh, did you get it? Did you get it?" And then you appeared with Steam, which is still sick. I'm gonna steal that later. But also, it's not. You failed.
You failed.
No.
But,
Lesson learned. Always
honestly-
go with the little guy.
Honestly, though, I'd say Monitor's yours is the closest.
Okay.
And then actually, David and Adrotic, you're both tied.
Oh.
Skynix.
Yeah, I
Back
don't
in
know if I got
line.
this one
Look at
right,
the
guys.
commotion.
Let's go. 1 point to me, 1 point to Monitor. Anyone's game at this point.
Ooh. Okay. I'm excited for the last one. This was my favorite one.
Yep. So the final character, the final pixel art we all got was this cat-looking thing that we
the
had to
creature.
interpret. Who's confident? Who's actually confident in the design for this one?
I'm really confident in mine.
All right, let's see it. Let's see yours.
So for me, almost everything was kind of like somewhat self-explanatory. Are we done yet? No? One more? Okay. When it came to the last design, I really did like the design a little bit too much, to the point that I drew him first instead of, well, the little bug guy from the original, or the first time. To me, this design screamed more like it was made out of liquid, out of some certain type of, I guess, flowing substance that, well, made him stand up on his 2 feet. So, that's what I mostly wanted to convey, just the texture or the material that it was made out of. The final design for this video was mostly trying to get the texture right. I wasn't too sure if it was supposed to be like coffee, some type of jelly, or like honey. So I pinpointed mostly to like honey. So personally, that's what I think it is. So let's see with everybody else. This is my design for Goober number 3, the final Goober of the Goober series.
Cut! That's a wrap. Oh.
Yeah, honey overload.
This is not what mine looks like.
These colors, they're really nice.
I love the way you drew his face. He's so cat-core.
So catcore.
This one's got potential win. It feels like you got everything
Mhm.
right. Maybe. I don't know. I still don't know. It could be something else.
Yeah,
It could be
yeah.
something else. I'll go next. With my one. I kind of interpret it more of like melting gold than honey. So I made it like more shiny and everything. Okay, the last pixel art of the day. This obvious cat goopy thing. I didn't know if this was meant to be like honey or gold or just like melted yellow stuff. I kind of went for the gold thing because it was all shiny and yellow, and when you think shiny yellow you think gold, so I made like this kind of golden cat melting out of a pot. He didn't have a tail in the original pixel art, but I thought, you know, it's a cat, it's got to have a tail. So I gave him the big long goopy tail. I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no clue what that blue thing around its neck is meant to be. I just kind of like copied the shape and called it a day. I don't know if it's like got its head stuck in just this like loop. I don't know what it is, but hopefully this looks like the pixel art. So yeah, let's see how it turned out.
Yours looks like a little pool noodle.
It's like one of those things turtles get their head stuck in.
Oh my, I had the same thought.
I like how Sky added the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did add
There's
a
a
tail.
tail.
That's what I was missing, I thought.
Yeah, I like how stubby you made him, because I think in the pixel art he's got like these like big legs and ears are just very.
Yeah, he's just shrunk
very
down on my
stump.
one.
Alright, Adrotic, do you want me to go next or do you want to go next?
I'll go last this time.
For this final goober, I really didn't know what was going on here. Using 110% of my brain power, I think this is some sort of large muscular cat trapped inside of something like a golden coin. Have you ever seen one of those lucky cats? Maybe it's something like that. Not sure how this would work in a 3D space though, so maybe it's more like a cylindrical object containing it. Here is what my final drawing looks like. I'm sorry in advance.
Buff!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
So buff core.
Oh, I would be terrified if this thing was running at me. I'm sure he could sprint at the
Holy.
speed of sound with those legs.
Dude, you see this at like 3 in the morning. What do you do?
You just give up. You just give up at that point. It's over.
It looks like he's got one of those cone heads you give to like
Yeah.
animals so like they don't
Oh
itch
yeah.
themselves.
The cone of shame.
The cone of shame. Oh.
Okay, Adrotic, last but not least. Let's see it.
Alright. Here is mine. Meow 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 meow. Meow meow meow. Oh, right. Speed paint commentary. My bad. So clearly, we're looking at a cat here. It's all the other stuff that's gotta get figured out. And to me, it looks like this little meower began to slowly melt and harden into what it is now, breaking through the glass bulb it was encased in. The actual substance appeared to be like a hardened honey, caramel, or something else of that nature. And then the silvery bit around its neck, I didn't quite know what that was, so I just kind of copied exactly the shape the pixel art had. No one will notice. No, it's fine, trust. But leaning into the melting interpretation, I made the cat's face all goopy and cute and squishy and oh, come here, who's a good kitty, you. Please don't blacklist me from future collabs. I interpreted it as like hardened goo, more like caramelized in a way.
The caramel cat.
On the sides of like the little, I thought it was like a little glass enclosure, and on the side, I honestly feel it was more like David's when I saw it, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work with mine, so I just decided to crack the glass and have it seeping through. And then yeah, I did the same thing with just copying the shape of like the thing around
Yeah.
his neck like it's a piece of trash or something. Like,
He's just got his
I don't
head
know what's
stuck in-
going on there.
It looks like he's just got his head stuck in this random orb.
And honestly, that's on brand for a cat.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah,
it
they are
works.
basically liquid.
Oil. This is their time. The end all be all. Which one of these cats was most up to what like the original interpretation was?
The idea was, okay, there were 2 ideas that went through my head. First one wasn't abstract enough, second one was too abstract. I need something that's like in between. The juices were flowing, and then I thought juices flowing.
Oh.
And so it's a coffee cup or a coffee jar.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it now, yeah.
But none of you did coffee. And so I'm looking through, I'm pondering my orb and staring at all of these. I feel like Skynix and Adrotic's, yours were closest. Monitor, yours was the funniest, and I sort of wanted to lie and say that it was exactly like that, because it would have been funnier.
That's actually exactly what you were imagining as a buff cat.
I was imagining that, of course. It's definitely very close between David and Adrotic.
Ooh.
Sky got kicked out of that.
Yeah, I'm not in the race no more.
The goop.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm really quick going to make a wheel of names, and then leave it down to that.
Oh.
Alright, let's see what this is.
I'm realizing this is about to be a 3-way tie no matter how this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
it? Hold on, I've got 1 point. Adrotic's got 1 point.
I got a point.
No, if Adrotic gets it, then Adrotic wins.
I have bad news. It's a
No!
Adrotic.
What is that wheel? What
What is that wheel?
What is
Wait,
that
wait,
wheel?
wait, wait a second.
Hold on.
Guys, maybe the real winner was the friends we made along the way. You ever thought about that?
Man, your friends along the way. I wanted to win.
Actually, according to the wheel, Adrotic won again.
Oh.
Yeah, baby! The wheel never betrays me.
Adrotic, your prize for winning the video is you can say whatever you want right now, and I'll have to include it in the video no matter what.
Guys, everyone unsubscribe from Skynix Character at youtube.com.
No!